Hi, this is Dr. Kenneth Augustus Walker. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Diving into Life with Augustus, where we give you motivation, inspiration. We cook, we travel the world, but our number one hobby is scuba diving. And boy, do I have some scuba diving footage coming up for you real soon. I dive with some bull sharks, some lemon sharks, some silkies, and my first ever Goliath grouper. Stay tuned. That's coming real soon. I've just got to work my way through the editing process. Look, I have a true love story with a lot of question marks for you. This is a true love story. I read this love story online with People magazine. Then I researched and cross-referenced, and it's going to be an amazing story for you. There's this lady by the name of Maire Clifford who has a boyfriend. She's on a 6-hour train ride between Edinburgh, Scotland, and London, England. They're headed to the Paddington train station. Now, what's amazing, for 6 hours, her boyfriend falls asleep. She gets up. She no longer smokes, but back then she was a smoker. She goes to the smoker lounge, and there's this guy in there. His name is Bain. They meet, and they have this instant connection. They decide to exchange email addresses. Well, I can't tell you the whole story. You've got to watch the video. But old girl, Maire, dumps her boyfriend and eventually falls in love with and marries Bain. It all started on a train ride. A 6-hour train ride. There were so many comments online like, he snoozed and he lost, or snooze and you lose. It's an amazing story. I want you to watch this video all the way through. And I want you to put in the comment section where you think there's a double standard. If a man was in this situation, he was on a 6-hour train ride, his girlfriend fell asleep, and he meets another lady, and later on, he breaks up with his girlfriend, but now he's with the lady that he met on the train. Would people look at this differently? Or is it because a woman did it? No one really looks at it in a critical or hypercritical manner as if it were a man. I want you to watch this video all the way. It's only 12 minutes long. I want you to watch it all the way through and give me your feedback. You, and yes, you are diving into Life with Augustus. I want you to watch this true love story. He fell asleep and she found her husband. Thank you.
Life is made of small moments. We think big decisions shape us, but sometimes it's the smallest, most unplanned moments that change everything. Maire was on a train from Penzance to London with her boyfriend, restless and bored. The countryside blurred by, but inside, Maire felt stuck next to someone she knew, yet feeling alone. Seeking a break, she got up and walked through the aisles, past sleeping strangers and families. Her destination, the smoking carriage, a small act of rebellion, a need for a different space. She didn't know it, but this simple decision was about to turn a page in her life. Sometimes it's the tiniest choices, a walk, a conversation, a change of scenery that become the hinges on which our futures swing. For Maire, stepping into that smoky carriage was that hinge. She was just looking for a moment to breathe, unaware she was about to meet someone who would change her life. The train moved toward London, but Maire's story was about to take a sharp, beautiful turn. She paused at the carriage door, took a breath, and stepped inside. The air was thick with smoke and possibility. She didn't know it yet, but this was the beginning of everything. Sometimes the most important journeys start with a single, unexpected step. Maire's life was about to change, not because of a grand plan, but because she chose to move, to seek, to be open. The train rattled on, but for Maire, time was about to stand still. She was about to meet a stranger who would become her future, all because she decided to take a walk. Sometimes that's all it takes. One small choice, one new carriage, and a story waiting to be written. The smoking carriage was its own world, hazy, humming, and alive with quiet escape. There, Maire met Andy, a young man with a kind face leaning against the window. Andy had missed his earlier train, a twist of fate that put him here. He was leaving the army, heading toward an uncertain future. Maire lit a cigarette, lost in thought. Andy smiled and asked a simple question, something about the journey. The words didn't matter, the connection did. Conversation flowed easily as if they'd known each other for years. They shared stories, hopes and fears, honest, unguarded. In that smoky carriage, they created a bubble of understanding. The train rumbled on, but time seemed to slow for them. Maire was honest about her boyfriend, but this connection felt different. Pure friendship, unexpected and real. Sometimes the most meaningful connections are the ones we least expect. When the train reached Paddington, they said goodbye, but both sensed this wasn't the end. Two strangers now linked by a single unforgettable conversation. The world outside was unchanged, but inside, something new had begun. They stepped off the train, carrying a spark neither could ignore. Sometimes a chance meeting is anything but chance, and sometimes it's the start of everything. Paddington Station snapped them back to reality, crowds, noise, and separate lives. They exchanged numbers, a small promise to stay in touch. Days passed. Maire returned to her routine, but the memory of Andy lingered. She wondered if he thought of her too. Then phone sa'i hope you had a good rest of your journey. Andy, that message was a bridge, connecting the train to her everyday life. They began texting, picking up where they left off. Their messages weren't just small talk. They shared real thoughts and experiences. Andy wrote about starting over after the army. Maire shared her questions about her own path. Each text wove their lives closer together. They built a foundation, not of romance, but of genuine friendship. This slow, steady communication let their connection grow without pressure. They discovered the person behind the face from the train. That first text was more than a follow-up. It was the start of a new chapter. Sometimes a simple message can change everything. Their story was just beginning, and neither wanted it to end. Months passed. Texts became phone calls, voices revealing more than words ever could. Their friendship deepened. They became each other's confidants. Maire told Andy things she told no one else. He listened, never judged, always honest. For Andy, Maire was a steady anchor as he adjusted to civilian life. For Maire, Andy's friendship highlighted what was missing in her relationship. They never crossed the line, but both sensed their bond was special. Their friendship was built on honesty, vulnerability, and mutual respect. It was a quiet harbor in stormy seas. The strongest relationships often start with no expectations. In their authenticity, they found something rare, a connection that grew stronger with every conversation. Sometimes friendship is the foundation for everything that follows, and theirs was unshakable. The year ended, and so did Maire's relationship. It was painful but necessary. She wanted the honesty and connection she shared with Andy. On New Year's Eve, Maire worked a quiet shift, avoiding forced celebrations. As midnight neared, her thoughts turned to Andy, her constant through the breakup. Then her phone rang. Andy, calling to wish her a happy new year. His voice was the first she heard in the new year, a sign of things to come. Their conversation was a turning point. The line between friendship and something more began to blur. With Maire's single, the possibility of love surfaced. That call was more than a greeting. It was a quiet promise of a new chapter. The new year had begun with hope and with Andy. After New Year's, everything shifted. Their friendship became the foundation for something new. Conversations grew warmer, tinged with romance. They met again, not as strangers, but as two people who truly knew each other. There was no awkwardness, just comfort and anticipation. Being together felt like coming home. The transition from friends to a couple was seamless. They spent more time together, walking, cooking, laughing. Every moment confirmed what they already knew. This was love, a love built on trust, respect, and genuine care. No masks, no games, just two true selves finally together. Their romance wasn't a leap. It was the next step on a path they'd already walked. They had found not just love, but their best friend. Years passed and their love story deepened. Andy knew he wanted to spend his life with Maire. He planned a proposal that honored their journey. At Paddington Station, where it all began, he carried his grandmother's ring, a symbol of lasting love. Paddington was more than a station, it was sacred ground for them. Andy suggested a day in London, weaving the proposal into an ordinary moment. He wanted to stand with Maire where their story had paused and promise it would never end. The stage was set for a proposal as unique as their love. Sometimes the most meaningful promises are made in the places where everything started. For Maire and Andy, Paddington was the beginning and the perfect place for forever. Their story was about to come full circle. Paddington Station bustled as always, but for Maire and Andy, time slowed. Andy led her to a quiet spot, took her hand, and spoke of their journey, from the train ride to the friendship and love that followed. He knelt, opened a box, and offered his grandmother's ring. "Will you marry me?" he asked. Maire's answer was immediate, yes. He slipped the ring onto her finger, a perfect fit. In the middle of the crowd, they created a moment of perfect stillness. Their story had come full circle. The station that once meant goodbye now marked a new beginning. It was more than a proposal. It was a celebration of every small step that led them here. Sometimes the most ordinary places become sacred by the promises we make. For Maire and Andy, this was the start of forever. And it all began with a simple hello. What does Maire and Andy's story teach us? Fate, coincidence, or destiny? Sometimes small moments are signposts on our path. Their story shows that opportunities for connection are everywhere if we're open to them. Andy could have looked away. Maire could have stayed in her seat, but they chose to connect. Life is full of chances to reach out, to notice, to be honest. Maire's courage to end her unhappy relationship cleared the way for true love. True connection often starts with self-awareness and honesty. Their journey reminds us the most extraordinary things can grow from the most ordinary circumstances. A conversation on a train, a simple text, a New Year's call. These small moments changed everything. Life is lived in the in-between, in the everyday. Their story encourages us to find magic in the mundane, to appreciate the power of a simple human connection. Sometimes a single moment can change your life. You just have to be open to it. Love is a journey, not a destination. Maire and Andy's story began on a train, but took them places they never imagined. The best parts of life are often unplanned. A missed train, a chance meeting, a simple hello. We plan. But the real magic happens when we're open to the unexpected. Their story is a message of hope. It's never too late for a new beginning. True connection can be found anywhere. If we're brave and honest, the person next to you might change your life or just brighten your day. Either way, the connection is worth making. Move through life with curiosity, not hurry. Be open to the magic of the ordinary. The greatest adventures often begin with a single, unplanned step. Keep your heart open and be ready for the journey. You never know where the next train might take you. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more true life stories.